So welcome to the Singapore Demo Day for the Brunei 100-Day Startup Bootcamp. It's the Cycle 4. This time round, you have the 4 startups who are pitching. And we have with us also a panel of investors. We have Mr. Michael Lee from Riepra, Mr. Abba McFoy from Reconnect, Ms. Christine Lim from Funnel, Mr. Ajif Isaac from Reventure, and then Mr. Dennis Wong.
Launching your product, getting funding, growing traction, being able to grow your business outside of Brunei and into Southeast Asia. This is your moment. Time to seize it.
Rotoku.com is an e-commerce startup company. Our mission is to provide product development program to nano and micro SMEs to be ready for online and offline halal global market. There are more than 12,000 SMEs have been registered up to December 2018. 45% of them falls under manufacturing, food and beverages industry. Most of the SMEs, especially the nano and micro SMEs, are using the family secret recipe that are handed down over the generations. 73% of them are facing financial difficulties. 83% of them doesn't have business skills. Only 23% of them are able to meet the minimum leveling requirement. In Rotoku.com, the nano and micro SMEs are mentored and coached up to the point where a finalized product are produced with certification. They will also have the opportunity to gain financial assistance through Rotoku crowdfunding. Once finalized product has been produced, this product will then distribute and sell through online and offline platform, not just in Brunei, but to ASEAN and China country.
In spite of all the benefits that insurance offers right in Singapore, within an age group of 24 to 35 years old, the protection gap is $75 billion. I think all of us can agree with us that insurance is extremely complex. There's going to be a lot of jargons. And also, like when somebody talks to an insurance agent, they are not really sure if the agent has my best interest in their mind, or they are just after the commission, right? We also spoke to some of the top agents, right? These are their concerns. They say when they go into a room, when they meet someone, they get into a room and then they lack prior information. They cannot focus on a sales pitch. That makes it really difficult. So how do we solve this problem is Essentials is a data and intelligence company that focuses in insurance. Our product, Apollo, is a conversational agent. We built this product in about 40 days. This is what Apollo looks like to a user. So it's a chatbot. We are talking to Sarah. Sarah is interested in insurance, and in this case, it's a general insurance, specifically travel. The chatbot understands what Sarah wants. It says it's a travel insurance. It says, hey, where are you heading to? And then Sarah says she's going to Japan. We have a deeper, meaningful conversation, and we don't just recommend products. We recommend products based on their age group, based on their lifestyle, based on the risk appetite. So it is not just a product matching algorithm. We go a little bit deeper. We put users at first.
So this journey begins with the passing of my grandparents. So during the way, there was a dispute over the funeral arrangements. So why is this all happening? Because for one thing, there was no will written in the first place, not even a verbal one. I believe I'm not the only one facing this. Till now, when I ask around, my closest friends who are my co-founders also facing the same or even worse. So after diving into the problem, we realized that 80% of the people in Brunei, Singapore, and Malaysia do not have a will. This is where memory comes in. We aim to address all the problems identified earlier by providing accessible and affordable legacy planning services, because we believe that everyone should and can leave a better legacy behind. Memory is a one-stop platform that provide will writing service, storage of digital assets such as your social media passwords, and even services. So all this information will be stored securely on the blockchain.
The reaction that we tend to get when we mention bowling is, bowling. Some statements we get is, bowling is not as sexy as football or as the UFC. But let's look at some numbers. Numbers can be kind of sexy as well. So the World Bowling Federation announced in 2017 that there's 100 million bowlers worldwide who are active in 90 countries. I used to work in a bowling center, and we realized there are problems. Firstly, an hour average waiting time. Secondly, as soon as you're done with the games, you still have to go to the bulletin board, take a photo of your scores. So the millennials, the challenge is to capture their attention and to answer the big question, how do we make bowling engaging even outside the bowling center? So we provide an online platform that curates and archives your scores. We look at big data and gamification as the new engagement in the bowling experience. Eventually, we'll then look towards quick registration and online payments to then cut down that 1 hour waiting time down to 15. Gamification, again, through the use of leaderboards, points-based system, will then engage people at a whole nother level. We do realize that different parts of the ecosystem in the industry can use the data. For example, think of the bowling center who can then use the marketing data that we have. We can explain to you that a certain demographic bowls at a certain time, at a certain date, at a certain time of the month, right? And that is powerful for them. For the bowlers, we provide a bowler's journal, meaning that you can track what tactics you use, what strategy you use, what equipment you use for a certain game at a certain tournament.
And I'm quite impressed with the ideas that came up because they seem to be able to identify opportunities which are unique, which might have been overlooked by other startups and even some bigger companies. For example, in the area of wheels and end-of-life kind of services, I'm pretty fascinated that they have come up with a solution which is almost comprehensive. The others, for example, the bowling, I can understand how people who are really into bowling can see value in what they offer. Once they have fine-tuned it, I think they need to be aggressive. They need to venture beyond Brunei, even beyond Southeast Asia, into other parts of the world, especially America, where it's really huge there. I would like to be able to continue the conversation because I believe that they have chanced upon something which is unique, which can be offered to the markets outside of Brunei. So someone who has a very unique offering, like for example wills and also insurance chatbot, someone who is able to offer that and aggressively reach out to the market, establish themselves here, that's where they can win. Because in such situations, the barrier to entry is the customer base that they have. Once the customer latches onto their service, it's very hard for others to try to take over the customer.
Brunei in that sense is also pretty similar to Singapore in terms of facing the challenges of a small domestic market. Therefore, these startups have to really focus on what are problems that are inherent to Brunei and what is it about being a Brunei startup that gives me the advantage to scale overseas. Rotuku, for example, right, they know that the halal certification or the standard of halal products coming out of Brunei are well regarded in other Muslim markets in Southeast Asia. So bringing Bruneian products and SMEs out of Brunei into the rest of Southeast Asia. So I thought that it's a nice angle there.
The interesting thing with the Brunei startups was these were people who were passionately believing in what they were trying to achieve, taking their own problems and creating solutions for it. And that really is like one of the real kind of facets of building an ecosystem, is actually trying to solve genuine problems, not necessarily trying to just find out where the easier funding rounds or what the industry is doing, but finding problems that genuinely need to be solved. These companies will get funding rounds this year. I'm very confident that for some of the companies that are in cycle 4 of the bootcamp, they're all on a good growth journey. They all have a nice product, they have a nice story. Now they just need to start showing a little bit of traction, and then the funding will come.